What's up, dudes? Max here, back with a video that I think needs to be made because so many people are asking for it. The reaction video for 2B being the guest character in Soul Calibur 6. Now, of course, as this has happened several times, huge trailers tend to drop when I'm either at airports or on planes, and this was no different. 2B was announced while I was literally getting on the plane, leaving for TwitchCon, and we're back from TwitchCon now. Had a day of recovery and doing pretty good. But I can finally talk about this, and unfortunately it's not going to be a live reaction just because I've already seen it, and it was impossible not to. That's for a pretty good reason, in all honesty, because 2B was probably one of the most requested characters to show up in Soul Calibur 6 over almost anyone else. I really can't think of any other character that probably deserved the spot more in terms of fan and audience reactions and fan and audience feedback, other than 2B, because even through just cycling through random Creative Souls online, you just ran into that character over and over and over again. It was pretty obvious, and I think it was a very good call on Bandai Namco's part, although some other people in the group we have might be a bit more excited, like Simmons. That guy got Resident Evil 4 on Switch and one of his favorite characters in Soul Calibur in the exact same week. I don't know whose he had to suck, but damn, he did a really good job. Either way, I'm happy for him, and I'm actually happy for a lot of people because 2B does look like a very unique character, and she's also what a lot of people wanted, so that's just gonna make a lot of people happy. Some people tend to forget that guest characters are, in fact, ways for the game to expand beyond the game's base audience. That was the whole point of guest characters starting in Soul Calibur 2, and it's one of the largest reasons why Geralt is the guest character in Soul Calibur 6 as he is right now. I ended up playing a lot of Geralt over the past week, and I really enjoy the character, and he's a lot of fun. But at the same time, do I wish it was somebody else? I mean, absolutely, but at the same time, Geralt does appeal to an audience that doesn't normally play Soul Calibur, and might actually play Soul Calibur based on just the character's inclusion there. 2B is once again a perfect example of that, a slightly other anime-esque kind of character, sort of similar to what they did in Soul Calibur 4. I think this character coming from a much different time period fits very well, and also the fact that she's one of the only futuristic characters in the game is going to be a nice mesh. I just really hope she plays well and she's fun, and her 2B, or her down B attack, is in fact her best attack in the game. Now that leads an interesting question. 2B is going to do a lot for Soul Calibur 6, but the biggest question is how good is the game performing sales-wise, where we really don't have a ton of information. Only thing we heard is that the UK version of the game has seen not great physical sales, but most games are sold digitally, if in fact big percentages are sold digitally. So I'm hoping Soul Calibur 6 does well, because I, more than anything, want to see future support for the game. I don't want to talk about all the individual things I want to see changed with Soul Calibur 6, because there's a lot of online adjustments I think the game should absolutely go through. But there is a lot of stuff I hope for the future of the game in terms of receiving older characters and receiving potentially more guest characters. Now with 2B as well as Geralt being the two guest characters and Tira being that weird extra bonus DLC character, there's in fact two more. We got two more characters that are on the horizon in the first season of Soul Calibur 6. And the big question is, who are those two characters? Are they going to be returning characters? I absolutely think they're going to be. There's a good chance it's going to be either Lizardman, Huang, Setsuka, or Cassandra. And Cassandra's a high likelihood because we saw her design already redone in the story modes of the game and the single player stuff. But I feel that those other characters are very highly requested and movesets that are already desperately missing from the game. So it would be nice to see some changes, if not their return at some point, to make people happy. But of course I'd be happy with more guest characters. Just 2B and Geralt being in the same game and fighting against each other I think is ridiculously exciting. Bringing those audiences sort of together in Soul Calibur at the same time is very much the kind of energy I love around fighting games that get people more excited than almost any game, in my opinion. Guest characters tend to do that, especially when they're from something that you would never expect, and all of a sudden it's now a possibility. And now 2B being in Soul Calibur isn't even like insane anymore. That's now actual reality. You're going to see this character fight all these other crazy characters from Soul Calibur and a character from a very Western-styled RPG. I think that's the stuff of dreams when it comes to characters like Soul Calibur or guest characters in Soul Calibur and other fighting games. So I would love there to be more guest characters, and you guys already know what I'm going to say. I would love a Bloodborne Hunter, but at the same time, they've already chosen two guest characters that are multi-platform, that have been on everything, and that makes a lot of sense considering Soul Calibur is multi-platform on PS4, PC, and Xbox. So, chances of us seeing like a Killer Instinct character, chances of us seeing a PlayStation individual on this game, very low likelihood. I would love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong about that, but at the same time, if they want to pick a character that can fit on everything, I think Artorias from Dark Souls makes the most sense, and he looks the coolest, and he's one of the most popular Dark Souls characters in a ridiculously popular series that has spanned many games over all the systems. I think that'd be a great call if Artorias was the one they chose, but at the same time, oh man, I can't help to think that a Bloodborne Hunter would fit so well in the Soul Calibur universe, and also make me extremely happy to boot. But either way, 2B is great news for a lot of people. I'll be doing my best to get hands-on coverage ahead of time to see if there's any opportunities to do so. I'll be checking her out, playing her online, seeing how it goes, and I do dig the fact that she comes with a bunch of extra customs or custom costume items that you can put on other characters, as well as some for her individually. I think that's very neat, and I hope that's more Creative Soul stuff that they're going to add to the game, because that's actually one of the things that I really want to see changed in Soul Calibur 6. That we'll talk about in a future video as we potentially do an updated review as we give the game a couple of weeks to sort of breathe. As always, dudes, thank you a ton for watching. Looking forward to more 2B when she does eventually come out, and I'll give it a shot. My name is Max, and I'll see you next time.